Did you know that sitting in stillness is not emptiness? Stillness is actually tapping into an encyclopedia of knowledge. It is the time capsule that holds all of memory of history, tapping into the consciousness, tapping into your soul. My name's Deborah Kaye. This channel is called Awaken with Deb. And here we learn that awakening doesn't take effort. It takes surrender. And through that surrender, you find the true essence of your soul. That's what we do here. If any of this interests you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, or maybe just go browse some of the other videos. You might find a little piece of wisdom or magic that helps light your soul, gives you the answer that you're looking for. But just know the answers are always within you. It's the energy that you're projecting that pulls in the answers from these electronic devices, from YouTube, from songs that play at the right moment, from quotes that just hit and resonate within your soul. That's you waking up. That's you paying attention to your soul essence. This reality is all about energy, and the universe responds to what you're projecting. And a lot of us have this underlying background program and applications and processes that are running on a default mode of negativity, of scarcity, of poverty, of lack of confidence and self-worth. And it's not that we're choosing that, and we may not even know that. We may not even know that we're not a confident person. But there's people on the other side that can see the masks. They can see the real you that is begging to crack open out of the shell and out of the cage. That's my gift. I can see where people are holding back, and I help them see it. I don't actually have to coach you into changing anything about your life. I just hold up a mirror for you. And I do coach you through it. There are tools and tricks and resources, but just having that presence there, we call it a presence portal. And these presence portals are places of aha moments, places of peace and stillness, to where you can clear out all the noise and come back to yourself. Presence portals are moments of connection between you and God, because you are God. And most of the time, we aren't taking the time to recognize that. When we have emotions come up, how often do you actually pause and name the emotion and allow it to come through and just focus on the emotion without allowing the brain to run with stories related to that emotion? I went through a breakup in the spring, late winter. And this person was living with me, and it was very abrupt and very quick. And it went from talking about engagement photos to the next day having all the places where his stuff was empty. And so when those triggers come up, I can either, like, you just accept the triggers. The triggers are our greatest teachers. You name whatever emotion's coming up. Is it just nostalgia that's coming up for you? Is it resentment that comes up for you? Is there anger that's coming up? If you can name the emotion that's coming up, and really just, you really do just watch it. It's really interesting. If your brain starts to run with stories, you catch it. And it's the equivalent of going to the gym for your brain. Anytime we sit in stillness, it's the equivalent of doing dishes for our brain. And the more that we become aware of the outside energies versus our own inner energy, the better we can make decisions and know what path to take. Because energy does guide us. It's known in the scientific world and spiritual world. So in science, they say that your brain and subconscious has already worked in such a way that your brain knows the decision. Well, your subconscious knows what decision you're going to make within 10 seconds before your conscious brain understands the decision. Just a moment. I had to scratch my nose. And in the spiritual world, we call that your intuition. We say your intuition knows before your conscious self knows what decision you're going to make. And if your energy is constantly cluttered with noise or excess energy of emotions that aren't being tended to, then those signals that are making your decisions are going to be cluttered and not very clear. And we love clarity. That's what awakening is creating clarity. Clarity in our soul, clarity in our light, clarity in our purpose. So as we go through these trials and tribulations and upsetting emotions, we can remember that they are our teachers. They are moments to be curious. Notice why they were there. Is there an old memory that you can attach them to? And maybe that's a memory that either you can let go and surrender to that no longer serves you, or sometimes you can reframe memories. I like childhood. There's so many narratives about my childhood that I have rewritten. And as I recognize, I don't even know where a lot of the narratives came from other people. People are like, oh, hand-me-downs, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but like, my hand-me-downs were really nice. So is that a bad thing? My hand-me-downs were better than some things people were buying new. So is that bad of a thing? No. But there's certain things of feeling neglected or in poverty, or just certain stories that I had, that a lot of them were kind of mainstream stories that people would put around an archetype or a narrative. And the more I look at it as an adult, like as a kid, it's easy to be like, they didn't buy me that teddy bear, they don't love me. And as an adult, it's easy to look back at like, wow, my father went to work Monday through Friday like a robot for decade after decade after decade so that I could feel comfortable in a home that was my forever childhood home. Like they still live in that home to this day. Whereas my child, by the time he was 16, he had moved 13 times. So on one hand, I can be like, oh, I had a bad childhood. My father was never around. On the other hand, like my father was never around because he was providing a good life for us. And that is very noble. And that is good qualities. So it's just about changing the narrative. And then as you do that, you also change the experience of who you are at a quantum level. And sorry to use my father, and again, as an example, and my apologies, Father, if you're watching this, but this is the story of Deborah Kaye. This is life. So here we are. Yes, he had a great, there's, my opinion as a child looking at my father was that he knew everything. He knew everything. But also I didn't feel very safe in an emotional way. There are certain things that just that safety wasn't necessarily there. And in many ways I did feel in poverty, and like I wasn't deserving or enough. And I would put that as like, oh, my father's not very smart with money. And I would look down on him. As an adult, none of this was true. This was a child's perception. And as an adult, looking back, I was like, my father worked for NASA at one point. My father is a very intelligent man. My father managed to provide for a household with 5 children, I think he was doing just fine. They didn't have to move once. He managed the bills the whole time. And so within changing that aspect, because like I come from my father, right? Like I am part of my father, part of his energy is me. And I was so disconnected from him within my childhood that it was always just like this person. Like I feel like I'm my mother's child. I don't feel like I'm my father's child. And so those are things that will come up in meditation, in stillness. When your mind starts to wander, yes, you can bring it back to stillness and allow those thoughts to wander, but you can also do some shadow work. So as you're going through any of this work, and this is why getting a guide and doing through workshops and courses is so beneficial, because it puts it in steps and in layers. And so there's times for meditation where you are sitting in stillness and allowing yourself to catch thoughts and bring yourself back to stillness and back to breath. But there's other times where you're sitting in meditation and you're going to focus on what's coming up, and then maybe journal about that or get into the shadow work about that and reframing that. And having a time and place for these different exercises is going to be really important. And as a person like yourself who's new to the journey, you're not going to understand the right time and place for these different tools and resources. And that's why it's very important to have a mentor, to have a guide, to have a coach, to have somebody to reflect with, to help guide through the progression, because there is a progression to it. Your nervous system cannot handle all the information that there is available, especially right now. The earth and its vibrations are changing, and it is affecting humans on a level that they don't understand if they are not aware of what is happening. And you're going to feel a lot of overwhelm and a lot of anxiety, a lot of confusion, and a lot of stuff is going to come up. That's why it's important to spread this information now, because the more that we cleanse and shine the light through the darkness, that darkness is going to come up because it's releasing. It's the negative beliefs that are coming up of, it's like, I don't want to do this because I'm afraid of this or that, or people will think I'm cringe, or people will laugh at the prices. And then, like, so what? So what? Those are limiting beliefs created out of fear, created out of lack, created out of not good enough. And those beliefs are going to get louder and stronger the closer that you get to your soul, because they're rising to the surface. And as they rise to the surface, you can be like, yeah, you're a fake thought. I don't actually need you. And just let it float away. Just let it float away. Sitting in stillness is not laziness. It is not emptiness. It is one of the things I highly suggest. And if you need help in doing so, contact me. I am available for one-on-ones and group available sessions. If you have a group of your own, group of friends, book club or something, maybe that you all are wanting to get on the same page of navigating mindfulness and awakening and feeling that fulfillment within your soul that you're missing. It's there. It's just covered in mud. So if you want someone to help clean out the clutter, that's what I do. Reach out below. I have a website with contact information somewhere. Thank you so much for joining me. It is something I'm so grateful for, to be able to come on here and share these messages and this information that feels very channeled from source, very specific for those that find the video, because your energy is only of what you like. You can only watch what you're vibrating at. That all just sounded really weird. You can only be a part, like it's your vibration. If you're watching this video, you're vibrating higher. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're on your way. You're already there. Actually, you're already there. Keep the momentum going. Keep the momentum going. It's a full moon, and a full moon definitely helps bring out a lot of that negativity, a lot of the pessimism. And that is our chance to do the work in the gym, to do the heavy lifting of recognizing those thoughts and resurfacing them is what came to mind. And then construction terms came to mind, right? Like if you're resurfacing something, you're making it pretty again. Not quite the analogy I was looking for, but that's what came up. And so when those things come up, it's usually important to someone out there. If you're that person that resonated for, let me know. Maybe you're in the construction world. This house you see, I built this house. It's my second house that I built. With help, obviously. Could I do it on my own? Do we do anything alone? That's a subject for another time. All right. The last 3 minutes were probably completely unnecessary, but thank you. Have a blessed day. I'm Deborah Kaye.